What's up, everyone? Brett Mix here from Ultra Wrestling 101. Welcome to the Monday Night Wars. This is week 95 for the WCW side. Hit like and subscribe if you're enjoying these reviews. I enjoy putting them out there. This is going to be archived also in its own year. It's the 1997 we're doing right now. So if you ever want to go back and watch the Monday Night Wars either before or after, you can use this review to see if it's a shit show or if it's actually worth watching. I do these reviews in under 10 minutes on purpose. So I sum it all up in 10 minutes. So anytime we want to go back and watch it, it's there for you. Nitro beats Raw for the 58th week in a row. The scores were 4.0 this week for Nitro to Raw's 3.2. So wrestling was hot this week. Both shows did over a 3. And the Nitro won by a difference of 0.8 in the ratings. 4.0 to 3.2. So it's 0.8. So through 95 weeks now in totality, Nitro has 76 wins to WWF's 17 and 2 draws. So this is the winning week of Nitro once again with a 4.0 rating, week 95. 2 weeks back, the show closed with Luger celebrating with his newly won world title. All the WCW roster was hoisting him on their shoulders. A miraculous ending of Nitro number 100. 2 weeks later, Hogan re-won the world title at Road Wild. Now this is week 95 of the Wars, but this is Nitro episode 102. Shivani welcomes us to the show on August 18th, 1997, live on TNT from the Birmingham Jefferson Civic Center in Birmingham, Alabama. We first see Raven with the darkened background. Then they kick off with the Nitro Girls after Raven had like a monologue in the darkness. They are building towards Fall Brawl and Clash of the Champions, which is a go-home show to the Clash of the Champions, with War Games following soon at Fall Brawl. To open things up, Vincent and Jacqueline come out with Harlem Heat. Jacqueline, I should say, comes out with Harlem Heat versus Vicious and Delicious, who had Vincent. Jackie just looked like a better fit for Harlem Heat than Sherry ever did. Bagwell kept flexing, but it didn't interfere with Stevie Ray and Booker T. Buff began in the ring, and he posed all around the ring, and Stevie Ray didn't like any time that Buff would pose, but you gotta admire the charisma from Bagwell. Vicious and Delicious, which is Bagwell and Norton for the NWO, cut off their half of the ring, and then Stevie Ray couldn't make Booker the hot tag, but when he did, he hit drop kicks, showing immense power with the fireman's carry. Norton broke the count, and the fans saw a DQ as Vincent elbows Booker T on the apron. Harlem Heat win by DQ because of Vincent's interference. I gave it a star and 3/4. Next up, we got the Barbarian taking on Mortis. Power meets power. Mortis with a quick start. He lost to Ultimo Dragon in a TV title bout last week. He lands a lethal leg drop, or a famouser as it were, off the top rope. A crossbody scored him a 2. Wasting too much time, Mortis got suplexed by the Barbarian, who unleashed offense in the form of fists in the corner. Mortis ducks a big boot and runs into a bigger one as the Barbarian in the end wins with a boot to the face. To give it a star and a half. Wrath takes down Barbarian after the match, but he turns around into the Tonga Death Grip by Mang as Mang ran to the ring. Mortis and Wrath stood together against the Faces of Fear, Mang and the Barbarian. Luger and DDP will team together at Clash of the Champions, we learn. Eric Bischoff comes out smiling and he says thank you to those who follow the law, not breaking the restraining orders to the Giant he's referring to, how he can't come within 50 feet. Bischoff went over a few backstage things and then showed clearly his pearly whites as he smiled with his stubble that he had on his face. Flair and Hennig comes out. Flair yells, "Mean Gene!" We are in the presence of Curt Hennig. Woo! Hennig says he wants the competition of WCW. He's not ready to say if he's a horseman, but he's not saying he's not either. He's keeping that up in the air. Good old Curt Hennig. You don't know if he's a face or a heel. Stevie Richards versus Scotty Riggs. Richards making his in-ring Nitro debut. He's been on Nitro a lot, but not in the ring on Nitro. Riggs landing drop kicks to Stevie Richards, who fell to the floor. An Irish whip sends him to the outside. Riggs drops Stevie Richards with a brainbuster. A turtle whirl sidewalk slam, and then an arrogant cover, but Stevie Richards kicks out. All of a sudden, Raven comes to the ring. In the end, Richards won after he hit the Stevie kick after Raven's presence distracted Riggs. Stevie Richards then got hit with the Raven's DDT as the fans cheer for Raven, who comes into the ring and sits down in the corner as the crowd chant Raven. Cool ending with Raven there to an otherwise match. Eddie and Jarrett come to the stage area. Alex Wright comes out and asks Deborah if he wants to recruit him, and Deborah says you can dance and you're German, but you don't have a title like her man Jarrett. And Eddie is going to be Cruiserweight champion at Clash of the Champions, so Deborah only hangs out with champions, she told Alex Wright. Then the NWO sing happy birthday to them. I don't understand why. I mean, it's September 97. They came in June 96. I don't know. Anyway, Chris Benoit and Mongo McMichael took on Jarrett and Eddie. This was a really great match here. Benoit on one side, Eddie on the other side. You know it's going to be a great match. Shivani said, "Holy Moses, we got ourselves a winner," which is comical but true. I gave the match 3 stars. In the end, the Horsemen won when after Mongo dropped Double J with his U.S. title behind the official who was distracted. Deborah held the title. Mongo took it off her and hit Double J with it while the ref was distracted. Very fun, great match here between Benoit and Guerrero's teams as expected. And again, 3 stars. Second hour pyros go off. The show last week episode was Sting walking the rafters before ziplining down and turning the deal away. The contract, ripping it up. The fans chant Hogan, and Sting pointed to the fans that chanted that. What will he do this week? They wonder. More on that later. The tag team champions, the Outsiders, came out. Hall says the fans came to see the NWO. Nash said the fans are going to see why they're just too sweet as they promote their main event against DDP and Lex Luger tonight. Syxx sends Flair to the corner in a match. Ric Flair versus Syxx. Flair did his usual over the top rope to the apron, wooing, strutting, hair or eye poke. He didn't do a face flop. He did the atomic drop, setting up for the figure 4, but then Vincent came out and did Vicious Delicious. So they attacked Flair, who wins by DQ. Then Curt Hennig ran out to save him from the NWO beatdown. Heenan says Flair was seconds away from slapping on the figure 4, and that's why Vicious and Delicious came out, as did Vincent to ring the bell. Hennig came in relief for WCW, though. I gave that match a 1.5 stars. J.J. Dillon has Nick Patrick, the official at the stage area, says he's not under any discipline, but Nick Patrick does blame the official. He blames the official Randy Anderson. And Dillon says, we have enough issues in WCW, we don't need the officials going at it. Next, Ultimo Dragon defended his TV title against La Parka, who had Sonny Ono in his corner. This is the real La Parka, not DDP, dressed in his suit. Ultimo Dragon comes out with his television title, and these two guys give a really good match together. Ultimo Dragon retains after Sonny Ono inadvertently made a mistake for his man. The Dragon wins how he wins most of his matches, with the Dragon Sleeper on La Parka. I gave it 2.5 stars. Curt Hennig took on the Giant. Hennig began by chopping the big Giant man down, trying to get to his vertical base if that was possible. His Irish whip attempt didn't happen, and Giant just tossed him by his head. Hennig came back trying to take out the leg of the Giant, but then the Giant just hits a running knee. Giant with a high kick and a vertical suplex. He then went for a chokeslam, but Bischoff came out and said 50 feet, 50 feet. Bischoff asked the one in charge to arrest the Giant. Bischoff says, you will go to jail, you better step back. Then Larry Zbyszko comes down the ramp, and there's a fan's cheer as he looks eye to eye with Bischoff. Giant then catches Bischoff as he runs for his life, as Giant chased him out of the arena. Hennig wins by countout as the Bischoff and Giant do their shenanigans. Entertaining segment with Bischoff and the Giant, though. Fans chant, we want Sting, we want Sting. As Sting comes out from the crowd, he picks up a sign that says Hulk versus Sting and throws it at Dillon. And then J.J. Dillon said, we need your answer by this Saturday night at Clash of the Champions. DDP and Luger versus the Outsiders in a tag title match in the main event. A lot of action in this one. The hot tag by DDP to Lex finally gets Luger in, running lariats over both the Outsiders after the Outsiders just went to work on DDP for the entire match. All of a sudden, the NWO run out, and all fans throw graffiti into the ring as the NWO and WCW all began to brawl. This is a couple weeks before Fall Brawl, and Shivani says, there's not even a cage around them. 2.5 stars for this tag team match. But it ended with the WCW and NWO brawl. That's it for the wrestling portion of the show. I gave this show a 6.5 out of 10. It had some good matches in it. I like the Eddie Jarrett match versus Benoit and Mongo. I like the main event with the Outsiders, DDP and Luger. I thought the Sting stuff with him wanting Hogan was not conclusive, but it was very fun, and it certainly built towards the weeks that come, and we're going to have bigger Nitro main events from here on out as 1998 and 1997, the rest of it gets better and better. So a 6.5 out of 10. They won in the ratings 4.0 to 3.2 over the WWF, 58 weeks in a row. Let's see if they can keep going. I'm Brett Mix, and I'm out.